Hi, I'm taking over the stream for like 5 seconds. Also have the hiccups.
I was gonna say 5 minutes because I can use the bathroom.
Well, perfect. Tom, I love you so much.
Hi, Daisy. How are you?
Hi, I had one of Hannah Davis, one of Egg Girl's Negronis.
Negroni Spagliato with
With
Prosecco in it.
I was watching The Emergent Strategy and could not quit. That's my fucking shit. Okay, so now I have a very special thing to tell Dom, who has no idea what I have just coordinated on his behalf. I want Ben Bridges and Jesse Fivecoate to interview each other.
Are they you two are the new Lynne and Andrea interviewing each
other? Okay,
no pressure.
No pressure.
Already, yeah, I was gonna say already the greatest love story.
I want Dom to take a break. I want the newly engaged folklorists to interview each other. They can talk about whatever the fuck they want. I gave them a prompt.
Oh.
But whatever.
A prompt? You have a prompt?
Are you
a fan of hopscotch?
Your prompt is like our first question we're asking everyone, but you can talk about whatever the fuck you want because I don't care. Anyway, welcome to the stage. Dom, get the fuck out of here.
Bye.
Welcome to the stage, Jesse Fivecoate and Ben Bridges, who are grad students at IU. Anyway, I need to get out of here too. Bye, Jesse. Ben, come on.
Oh, is Jesse?
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Great to meet you.
Yeah. I've seen you from afar.
From afar.
Like engaged or something?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast that happens.
I thought you said engaging.
We're very, very engaging.
So good.
Getting into folklore. How'd you get into folklore?
Well, I got into folklore. In undergrad, I studied anthropology. And I just got really into within that expressive culture.
Yeah.
And so I got into sort of the folklore orientation. I had a great mentor as part of it and kind of led me into IU, which is kind of how I ended up in folklore.
Yeah.
Credit goes to that mentor.
A lot of the same, actually. I did anthropology in undergrad, and I read a folklore book, and I was like, I think I want to do this. And so I emailed the person. And I said, I want to do this, but in anthropology. And she said, oh, you want to do folklore? You should check it out at IU. And I was like, no, I want to do anthro. And she said, no. And that's basically it.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So kind of similar ways. Like,
very
so
similar.
many folklorists kind of just fall into it.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
Yeah, it really is. So, okay. Let's fast forward to, we're both in folklore.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story about how two folklorists meet and begin a relationship that then will turn into an engagement? Or?
It's quite sweet, honestly. So, the very first time that we met was Prospective Student Day. I was already at IU, and you came for 5 hours. You were there for a very short amount of time. And I remember going to the room with all the prospective students and thinking, oh, he's kind of cute. And I was like, that was the end of that because you left. And I was like, I don't know if he's coming here. And honestly, I didn't really remember your name. So there were two Bens.
And everyone, hey, that's a sign of true love.
Yeah.
The person who meets you thinks like, oh, they're cute, but I don't really have the capacity to remember their name or things about them. Then yeah, that's a good sign. If next time we see each other, it's what's your name again? You're like, oh my God, this might be my soulmate.
Let me clarify. I remembered your name then, but that would have been late spring? No, it had to be before. Yeah.
It would have been March.
Okay, so early spring.
March of 2017.
You have a date?
Who's winning? I'm sorry.
We have whiteboards. Keep score.
I'll keep a score. I'll give a score going here. The score is just who's winning.
Who remembers the minute details from when we first met?
I will say I have a distinct advantage of having a memory.
Yeah, and I don't have a memory.
Whiteboard. Do I need to pull up the newlywed game?
Oh goodness.
Oh, I think we would both be embarrassed by that.
I think we would. But for now, we'll just keep it to that.
You could pick a number and have an answer for the other from Jim's question list.
Oh, we could probably do that.
We
I've
could
played
maybe
that
do
game
that.
so many times now. But, so that would be the first time. And then, so that was March 2017. Flash forward to August when you're in Bloomington. And we are both AIing. We're both basically TAing for Folklore 101 Intro to Folklore. And then, so like, yeah, I'd already met you that one day, very briefly. But then I get back from a trip from Florida and I have like the death plague. I have like viral bronchitis.
I remember that.
And so I was just like terrible. And
but
we meet
also
up.
very like sexy, raspy voice. I think that's what did it for me.
No, I
was
truly,
the bronchitis.
I truly sounded like a plague.
Another good sign. Bronchitis.
Bronchitis. Gave me that like Adele level.
Oh.
But we met up with the other AI and the professor of the course. And then I was out that entire week. Like, I went to the health center and they said, you should not be around other living people. And so I had to go home. And I went home. And then the next week, I feel like at the AI meeting, but I don't know if that's true, we started to talk and hang out. And then we were hanging out most days. Like, we went to the movies once. We went to the Mothman Festival.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I think an important detail is that the place where I was living was right next to the department, but had no air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
And Southern Indiana, you kind of need air conditioning if you want to stay.
In August?
In August. You want to stay between like 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Like, you can't really be in the house during that time unless you got like really good ventilation.
That's true.
So, and you were living very far off campus, and so you needed a parking pass.
Yeah.
And because we were the same AI, the same class, we had the same office, and so it would always be 8 a.m. You would come to campus to park.
To get a parking spot.
Yeah, and I'd come to campus for AC, and we would spend them like around 4 hours in the small office together.
That's true.
Like, hi, I'm Ben. Hi, I'm Jesse.
Yeah.
Let's get to know each other. And here we are.
And then it goes most of the semester, and around Halloween, we start hanging out almost every day at my house.
Every day, yeah.
And
watching
Stranger Things, yeah. And then we carved pumpkins right before Halloween. I think like maybe like 1 a.m. actually on October 31st because we had stayed up late watching that. And then the next day we went out to the bars.
Yep.
And we both got a little drunk. And you said, do you want to go back and watch Stranger Things?
Before that happened, though, we were at a bar in town that we were decided we should go get some food. And so we walked all the way up, like I saw like a half mile, I'd say, to Qdoba to get food. And the whole time, I remember we were talking about Kimberly Crenshaw. That was like a bonding moment. Then you're like, oh my God, like we okay, cool. Yeah. Qdoba was closed. So we turned around, then we went to the B-Town Diner.
Yeah.
And then at that restaurant, it was like a, like hands touch, eyes meet. It was that kind of thing. I'm just like, okay, there's like some sparks of fly in here. And then we go back to your house at 1 a.m. or something to watch Stranger Things.
And this is like a Wednesday. Yeah, it was a Wednesday because I had to teach the next day.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, but I still had to teach. And we put on Stranger Things. And I kind of like fall asleep on the couch. Well, I remember when we got there, like we were both sitting on the couch because oftentimes I would sit in like a chair and you would sit on a couch. We were both sitting on the couch, and then I fell asleep and I woke up and you're like looking at me and you just kissed me,
which is great. For the record, Jesse's a very sleepy person as is, so it would be a typical night that Jesse we'd sit there and fall asleep. Even to this day, that would happen. But being the nerd and tying it to folklore, and in our house we have a rule: if you be a nerd, you tie it to folklore, you have to take a drink. I was observing the social patterns I was accustomed to. The fact that Jesse sat in a different place in the house than every single night I hung out. He sat in one chair, then he sat on a couch. I was like, this is a sign that Jesse is angling for Big Ben.
Yeah. I mean, it was, but also, I've told Ben this, so it's no secret. The reason I sat on the couch that night is because earlier in the day, had thrown my bag and coat on the chair. And I was like, I'm not going to move that. I'm just going to sit on the couch. Because I wanted to sit by you. Because by that point, I had had a crush on you for like, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks. It had been a while.
It's been a minute, yeah.
And then, we kissed, and then stayed up like a good part of the night talking. And we're like, what is this? Are we dating? And then the next day
We got engaged, and that's the story of the engagement.
yeah, that was actually like that. But no, we told everyone, or they found out.
They found out.
Because
There's something to be said if you live with roommates and you see like, wow, that is like a new pair of shoes in the morning.
Yeah.
I've not seen any of my roommates wear those shoes.
and
2 and 2, you can.
this
figure
person
out.
that was here last night at like 1 a.m. is leaving the house at like 7:30 a.m. It's kind of a given.
Yeah,
And then I went off to do my field work
it's true.
later that year.
For what it's worth, there were like many months in between that. It was like actually we did get together.
Yeah.
And we started dating and officially boyfriends.
Yeah.
And then you went off to field work.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a
Oh,
week
no,
later,
no.
Jesse left, and I was
No,
like,
it was like what, 7 months
"When I
later?
come home
Yeah.
for the war."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ben had told me that he loved me before I left. And I was like, okay, no, I'm just kidding. I said I loved him too. And then came back from field work and flash forward COVID. And
Which was, I think, internationally a really hard time, like for understandable reasons for like
and
everyone.
nationally,
Oh yeah, nationally
Like,
and internationally. Yeah. As a globally, across the globe, is a really hard time. Jesse and I, we opted for we're gonna self-isolate and just kind of be just here.
And because we're both grad students, like the summer we weren't teaching, and we were able to spend a lot of time together, and I think it was really beneficial.
It was
for us.
frankly like one of our best summers ever.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't, with all the,
and again, it's like, I do think it's important to like contextualize. There's like the privilege of being able to stay home and like not really go out except for grocery shopping and that kind of thing during COVID when none of us knew what was happening. So like, yes, that is all an important part of it. And I think it still was like you hear those stories about people during COVID who, got divorced or like
their partners got on their nerves. And it's not like it was all rose. I mean, there were times where it was like, wow, we have been in the house
a
together.
little cabin fever happening.
But I like overwhelmingly, like 99% of the time, it was just like good. Like we would play board games, we would watch Survivor. We went through a lot of old Survivor episodes.
Currently season 41.
Yes.
Trying to catch up before the season 43 ends. But that was our Survivor goal. We started at season 1 and we made it.
To the very nerdy, like, who are these people? What are the common characters? Yeah. But then Ben went off to do his field work, and that wrapped up middle of this July.
Yep.
And then he came back, and we went to Ireland to attend a friend's wedding, and Ben surprised me with proposing at like the most beautiful place ever in Northern Ireland. This park by this old bridge.
Yeah.
That was just, I mean, I literally, the thought that went through my head right before was, this would be the perfect place to get engaged. And then Ben gets down on one knee.
And it was like, for what it's worth, like we had been talking about getting engaged, but we were like, maybe we'll wait till after grad school.
Like we even had the guest list. And
like we've been planning the wedding in a very abstract sense, and so like we knew we were going to get married, which a matter of when.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of the logic of like, well, if we're waiting for like stable job positions, okay, cool, that will be 10 years from now.
We're millennials in an apocalypse in academia, so.
Anyway, so we hope you've enjoyed us like actually recounting to ourselves.
I know,
about
because
like
we have it like, so we're coming up on 5 years.
We're coming on 5 years of dating
in a couple of weeks, and we like the thing that has been since then, since we first started dating, the like big story has been fieldwork, like how I've maintained a healthy relationship over fieldwork. You go into Alaska, me in Ireland. At different times, and then more recently it's been the engagement story. So it's like a real throwback to go back to like the end of October 2017 when that hasn't been one of the stories that we've told in years.
Yeah.
That's been very nice.
Yeah.
And it's all because of folklore.
All because of folklore.
Yeah.
It comes down to it we're not saying that joining a folklore graduate program means like, oh, you're going to meet the love of your life and marry them.
But we are saying
that did happen.
We are saying that if you don't do that, you won't be. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, but Jesse.
Yes.
You mentioned that we both went on our fieldwork years or so. What's your quick elevator pitch of you went to Ireland?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What do you research? And
Yeah.
I'll do the same with what do I research? But in like our most condensed versions, because we have just been at a conference all week and we've done this like
and I know that there's other
bajillion
people.
times.
That
So
quick version is I work in Ireland and Northern Ireland, studying ghost stories, studying the kind of change in that historical tradition, what that means now, and what ghost stories can tell us about humans' relationship to places that are understood to be haunted and to histories that keep a very unsettled past in the present. Great. What about you? Alaska.
Thank you for asking.
Alaska.
Yeah, I work in Southeast Alaska, working with thinking the Haida artists, predominantly carvers and weavers, looking at red and yellow cedar in the context of climate change, as well as the logging industry in that region over time, which is kind of how that has changed in recent years, and access to trees and that kind of thing. So, that is what I researched.
Yeah.
And so it's funny that like when we met, I guess by like training, I was a narrative focused scholar, narrative and belief. And I love those things. Those genres really interest me still. But we've always had this tension of like, on the count of three, name your favorite narrative genre. Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Legend.
So it's been, I think since actually day one, maybe even before we were dating, it was I like the myth, the sacred narrative. I think it's like the cultural core of so many people's.
And legend is just, honestly, it is the best. Like, it encapsulates so much. It is the contemporary, and I'm sure I could articulate this better if this wasn't the ass end of
we didn't have this like Negroni.
And the ass end of a conference. But legend is more relevant to so many people, and it's more close.
Yeah.
I'm not saying myth can't be close, but it is. Like, we encounter legend every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's 100% fair. Yeah. And so I think, like, what it means for us, like, what's great about being a folklore couple, because I don't know, we're not the first, maybe we're the first folklore, like, couple, like, engaged, dating couple on Folkwise. Don't quote me on that. But it's great because, you know, our, like, pillow talk is often like well, do you really agree with that like theoretical construct about like how legend is communicated to the masses? Because I think it's the opposite of that. And that is like,
it's so fucking nerdy, but so many of our fights are like theoretical.
They're almost entirely theoretical.
I know you're just like gabbing. This is cute.
Oh no, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Ian and Andrea and Lynne, I guess, are going to be on. So
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Great.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Final thoughts. I love you. Folklore brought us together. And you bring other people together.
Yeah, and legend is the best narrative genre.
It's not true. Okay, thank you so much. And you're going to have like a rock star trio come on. You've seen them before, but they're coming back for around either like 2 or 3 or 8. I don't really know how many times they've been on, but they're coming back. Sit patiently and wait. That's the thing to say. Okay,
Bye.
Cool. Bye.
Anyway, Katya, welcome to the show. Dom's going to interview you. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
Hi, Dom.
What
You're
is-
so cool.
Oh my God! It hasn't even started yet. I left for like 20 minutes, and there's all new types of accoutrements around here. We need to. Someone needs to update your name. Survey. Can you update this name? Update this name. Katya, what's your last name? It just says Katya on the form.
Yeah. Chomitzky.
How do I spell that?
In English or Cyrillic?
English.
CHOM.
Wait, hold on. There you CHOM.
M as in Michael. ITZKY.
Okay. Wow. This went off the rails. I've been going for like a half hour. It's been completely nuts. But
That's because you had Ian.
yes, I'm gonna say for posterity and in my defense, it was a Daisy idea. Hi, Katya. How are you?
Surviving. How are
Surviving.
you?
Pretty good. I feel like I made it. I feel like I finally made it.
How many AFSs have you been at?
Oh, you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
My first AFS was Providence in 2013.
So there was a gap between 2019 and now, right?
No, I went to 2021.
Was there? Oh, Harrisburg
In
was
Harrisburg.
half and half.
Yeah, half and half. But Daisy and I ran the half parts.
Huh.
Yeah. So let's see.
I did the other half parts.
Yeah, you probably were on one of our teams. So let's see. I did Providence, Santa Fe, Long Beach, Minneapolis, Buffalo,
Miami.
Baltimore, Miami, Harrisburg. This is my 9th AFS.
This is my first.
This is your first.
Yeah. In person AFS.
Are you a first year?
I'm a second year.
Second
but
year.
COVID student, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Harrisburg. Oh, first in person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really didn't do a lot of the online stuff. I signed up, I paid my dues, I wanted the association to feel like they cared, but holy crap, being a first year student was the worst.
Oh, I can't imagine.
You can imagine, you were there once.
Not during the fucking plague.
No, this was post-plague reintroduction to society. The musical.
The musical. Yes, the interactive experience. Hey, so for the folks at home, the folks watching this on YouTube, because I think everyone else has gone to sleep and we are still keeping the spirit alive. Who are you and what do you study?
My name is Katya Chomitzky. I am a second-year PhD student at IU studying folklore, and my major interests are in material culture in Ukraine and Ukrainian diaspora globally, specifically based on wartime.
It's based on what?
Wartime.
Wartime. Have you met Sean Williams yet? Does everyone ask you this?
No, nobody's asked me this yet.
No one has told you the legend of Sean Williams.
I don't think so.
Oh my God. Sean Williams
Okay.
is writing his dissertation right now.
Where?
He's living in Romania, but his master's was on the it was about Romani musicians in the Carpathians, and he lived in Zakarpattia, and he lived in Western Ukraine for like 4 years. Yeah, he has a documentary called Zakarpattia about music in Western Ukraine.
That's really cool.
And it is the only documentary I've ever seen that has figured out like color coordinates code switching into the subtitles. Like every time there's like a Romani word, it's pink. Every time there's like a Ukrainian word, it's yellow. Every time there's a Russian word, it's blue. You know what I mean?
That's really neat.
It's really good.
Except for colorblind people, but other than that, that's awesome.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I guess he's just been in Romania and has not been around Bloomington.
That's fair.
Next time he's in Bloomington, you have to meet him.
Okay, but like, I would also go to Romania and not be around Bloomington, but for no particular reason.
That's true. Last time I checked, he lives on a farm.
That sounds better than Bloomington.
Yeah.
Is there sheep?
I think it's vegetables.
In Romania, there's only sheep.
Is there?
Usually.
Is that thing like New Zealand?
Everybody is
Yeah.
sheep. I don't know about New Zealand, but
That's the stereotype about New Zealand. I actually think there's literally more sheep than people in New Zealand.
I thought it was emus.
That's Australia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a
They
war?
lost the war to emus.
Oh, I love that for them.
Yeah.
Colonization.
What's your favorite paper or program you saw at AFS?
Andrea Kitta talking
Andrea
about
Kitta.
jeans and jorts.
Jean and jorts. Has anyone brought up the jorts panel on the stream yet?
I don't know. I haven't been watching today because I've been too busy socializing and trying to get a job.
Very good. Good instincts. The socializing kind of moved into this room, if you can't hear. But, okay, tell us about, were you already a fan of Jean and jorts?
I knew nothing about them.
You knew nothing about Jean?
I knew nothing
What brought
about
you to the panel?
I thought she was literally going to talk about jorts.
You thought it was a pants panel.
I
You did not know it was about a socialist cat.
I study clothing. I study material culture. I thought it was about jean shorts.
Nope.
But holy hell. Well, also, okay, but here's the thing is, when I grow up, and by up, I mean taller, I'm going to be Andrea Kitta.
Okay, I mean...
That's the dream.
I think me too.
She's like a foot taller than me, I think.
Probably. She's very tall.
I'm very not tall. I'm vertically challenged, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But it was amazing because she, like, just the way that she intersected disability studies and folklore with cats.
Is this helping? Is this helping, or are you buttering the cat?
I brought my cat to AFS.
Your cat's
We
here?
drove 9.5 hours.
Wait, where's your cat?
He's in my Airbnb.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say your cat's not in the hotel.
His name is Chandler.
Chandler?
And we drove 9.5 hours to Tulsa.
Awesome. That is incredible.
Yeah.
How long have you had Chandler?
2.5 years now.
Okay.
He drove with me. I moved here from Edmonton, Alberta, and he drove with me 55.5 hours from Edmonton, Alberta to Bloomington, Indiana.
Holy shit. It's that
I
far?
will never do it again. It's only that far because of COVID.
Oh.
I could only cross the border in Detroit at the time.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's only 33 hours.
I grew up right outside Detroit.
Yeah?
Oh, well, you
do you
probably
know a
had
lot
to
of
go through...
Ukrainians? Detroit has a ton of
Not
us.
really. No, I grew up in Toledo. So
That's
I knew...
not outside. That's Ohio. I stayed in Maumee, and that was
That's where my parents live.
terrifying. There was a Tim Hortons,
Yes.
which like brought me joy.
I think if there's a Tim Hortons, it's technically outside Detroit.
If there's a Tim Hortons, it's technically still Canada.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Including the one in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is now Canada. You're
Good.
welcome.
That's where I went to college.
Really?
Yeah.
Cincinnati's dope.
I love Cincinnati.
Yeah, me
one
too.
Of the best cities to be drunk in America.
Do you know why I love Cincinnati?
Why?
Jungle gyms.
Jungle gyms.
Gyms.
We've talked about jungle gyms on the stream before.
Yeah.
You know Suyash?
Yeah, Suyash is the one who
about-
told me to go to jungle gyms.
Of course he fucking did. Talk about jungle gyms.
Okay, it's this experience.
It
is
is.
not just an experience. It is a lifetime you spend. You are expending your entire person
That's right.
in this 180,000 square foot grocery store. They have a podcast. Jungle Gyms is wild. Coming from a socialist country, coming from two socialist countries, Jungle Gyms is the closest thing to Canada I will ever get.
Explain.
Have you listened to the guy on the podcast? The man was practically born from like ultra left-wing socialism.
I didn't jungle gym?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He wants like everything. In Canada, we have these things called co-op grocery stores, which is self-explanatory. Co-op, cooperatives, but it's a brand.
Yeah.
Because everybody works at a you just know co-op. Everybody goes to the co-op. You don't have Kroger. You don't have Aldi. You go to co-op.
Yeah.
Jungle Gyms is like the co-op because the man is just so about the community. He's so about globalization in a way that I was not able to get Hrustike or Shapuchke in America until I went to Jungle Gyms.
That's right.
And then the war started, and I went to Jungle Gyms maybe 3 weeks after the war, the Russian invasion of Ukraine started, and they took every Russian product off the shelf and said, sorry, not selling this.
Really? Wow.
It was magnificent. And so I bought every single Ukrainian product they had on the shelf, including things I won't eat, but I knew I could give to somebody else. Choladet, you ever have?
What's that?
Head cheese.
Yes.
Blech.
Love it.
Do not love it. Forced to
I grew up in Ohio.
95% of my life, and it is pork jelly.
It's great.
It's trash.
It's an acquired taste.
It
Much
is-
like our friend Malort.
No,
Blech.
Malort has no friends.
Malort is not an acquired taste. Malort
If
is
Malort
a
has
death
no
sentence.
friends, it is me against the world.
Jungle Gyms.
When I lived with Sean Williams, Jungle Gyms was where we had to go to get his kvass.
Yes, oh my
Yeah.
god, kvass. That's the whole reason I went. Was
Wait,
for
seriously? It was for
kvass.
kvass?
Yes.
Oh my god.
But okay, here's the thing. Here's the life hack.
Yeah.
Heineken 0.0,
Okay.
kvass.
Really?
Yeah.
Same thing?
It's the same thing.
I was like, I need.
Kvass
Sorry,
is
getting into that bread soda?
non-alcoholic beer for children in
It's for
European
kids?
countries. Yeah, because there's no alcohol in it.
Oh.
It's essentially barley juice.
I love
and
it.
it is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what non-alcoholic beer is barley juice.
Sure, sure.
I grew up in Saskatchewan, right? We grow barley.
Mm-hmm.
I know what barley juice tastes like.
You grew up in Saskatchewan? What is this? I don't know anything about Saskatchewan. I know a little bit about like Alberta.
Okay.
I know a little about like BC.
I lived in Alberta for 10 years.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I grew up in Saskatchewan. It is the second highest province of Ukrainian diaspora in Canada.
What's number one?
Manitoba.
Manitoba.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because there's nothing else in Manitoba but farmland and rocks. And so the
Okay,
government
I get
sent
it.
Ukrainians there because they didn't know what else to do with them, and they wanted them to deal with the rocks and the farmland.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saskatchewan was next. And so they kind of built outwards.
Sure.
And then they ended in Alberta. The only Ukrainians in BC are there because they were working on a railroad.
Gotcha.
But Saskatchewan, here's the thing about Saskatchewan. Your dog can run away, but it's going to take you about 3 days because you're just going to keep watching him go. That's how damn flat it is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Great.
Lots of cows, lots of wheat, barley, oats, canola everywhere.
Oh, I do know about the canola comes from Saskatchewan. I remember that. Yeah.
Bread basket of Canada. That's fun. It's equivalent to Ukraine.
Like Ukraine.
Ukraine is bread basket of
Bread
the
basket of
world.
the- oh, of the
Saskatchewan
world.
is like taking up that honor now because we got nothing in Ukraine. So Saskatchewan, big pressure's on you. And it's shaped like a triangle. Easy to draw, hard to spell.
If anyone is still out there, ladders in the chat for Saskatchewan. We're learning so much. Did you present this year?
Yeah, I did.
What did you present on?
I presented on the St. Javelin meme.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, okay, so my presentation, Hold My Javelin, was about ephemera in the war, the current Russian invasion on Ukraine. It was a terrible presentation because I got way too personal and essentially just told stories about, I just spent the last 2 weeks in Poland and I talked about my time in refugee camps.
I think if any conference is to get way too personal, it's the American Folklore Society.
It's this one. I cried. It was great.
Wait,
And I told some jokes.
are we getting replaced? Can I ask one more question?
One more question is good.
Okay. Michael Young. Do you know Michael Young? He went to
Refresh my
IU.
memory.
He went to IU. He studied Ukrainian music. When he was on the show, we talked extensively about Eurovision. Okay, go.
Tadhg and I love Eurovision.
Go for it,
Here's the
go
thing.
for it.
Okay. I love Stefania. Stefania. Excellent song.
Yeah.
Stefania, mama. No, didn't deserve to win. Hands down. But it is amazing that they won because it shows continental support for the war in Ukraine.
Yes.
Eurovision, my favorite.
What
Hands
deserved to
down.
win? Don't say the UK.
No.
I can't believe that got second.
Spaceman was trash.
It was just like.
Have you watched that video?
Yeah.
He's like,
You know, it's like,
floating
you know how
on
you
a
go to
fucking
like, you know how you
cup.
go to like like the Great Value brand. It's like Great Value Ed Sheeran.
Sam Ryder needs to take a step back and let the rest of us have Eurovision. The UK is so mad because they didn't want to be part of Europe. They didn't want to be part of the EU.
But they get to do Eurovision.
Here, they get to be part of Eurovision just because they give us a bunch of money for Eurovision, so we let them stay.
So what do you think should have won?
Hold me closer.
Hold me closer.
Tell me before the sunrise. I'm only bleeding, but don't you mind, I'll be fine.
Oh, it kills me that I found the right one at the wrong time. But until the sunrise, please hold me tight.
It was beautiful. That song.
Cornelia.
Cornelia Jacobs?
Jacobs?
I don't know. I loved her. That song.
Cornelia Jacobs is the only person who wears more rings than me.
But here's the thing. She didn't wear shoes.
Yeah.
If you don't wear shoes, your soul is connected to the ground, and you are singing from the ground through your soul.
That's right.
Out your body. It was amazing. I loved her. Plus, she had sparkles.
Special honorable mention to Moldova.
Stop!
Hey, let's go! Folklore, rock and roll.
Listen, okay, so 4 days before the invasion of Ukraine,
Yeah.
Moldova came out or had their song, and we were singing this song with other ethnomusicologists in the department. Irina, Tadhg, and Kyle and I were like playing this song in the hallway in the department, and I made them.
Let's go folklore, rock and roll.
I tried to make them love this song, and we tried so hard to get the IU folklore department to get on board with Moldova.
Yes, I don't understand why they didn't.
But here's Zdobsha's Dub has been in Eurovision so
Once
many
a decade,
times.
right? Once
because
a decade.
Moldova's good. What are they going to send?
They've got 6 people. Yeah.
6 people live in Moldova.
Yeah, exactly.
And half of them are in Zdobsha's Dub.
Apologies to Sean Williams, who I know has done fieldwork in Moldova. You keep coming up in this interview, buddy.
I can't wait to meet you.
Oh, Sean, yeah, absolutely. Okay, ladders for Katya. We got to talk more about Eurovision. When like Moldova's like when that won Moldova's like song contest, my whole family texted me. And they were like,
so
"Are you
good.
going to
They're like, this
Moldova?"
song is about you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Ask me later about the contestation that is Stefania and how it ended up actually at Eurovision, because it didn't win.
That's interesting.
In the Ukraine, because Ukraine has Eurovision.
Yeah.
And it didn't win. But that's for later.
If you're not like asleep in 30 minutes, I'm literally gonna ask you about this. And ask me about Maneskin. But
those red bottoms, those Louboutins. If you are wearing Louboutins at Eurovision, you've already won.
That's right.
And like, there's just nothing we can do about it. But I gotta say, honorable mention that year, not this year, but that year to Ireland, because that was the coolest stage presentation. They had those like paper cutouts of trees.
Oh yeah.
And she did like the close-ups, the far-aways. The song was.
You know what? Like
the stage presence, that was dope.
I'm not like I would feel like dirty to be like sorry to Stefania, like if we say we don't deserve it, but like what was that song the year before? Shum, yeah. That song fucking goes.
That's
place.
A bomb. That
was 4th place?
It came in 4th.
That song is so good.
It fucking slaps.
It's a slapperoonie.
Oh my god, slapperino.
Slapperino's in the chat, people.
Slapperino.
All right, Katya, thank you very much.
What? That was so much fun, Dom.
You'll come back with let's have you back with like Michael Young to be like our senior Eurovision correspondent.
Oh
Would that be hysterical?
Bring us back to do like Eurovision.
Can we live react? Yeah, can we live react Eurovision?
I give people points on costume flexibilities and show presence.
Thursdays.
So we have another day.
I would love to start doing Thursdays.
They're gonna convince me to do big picture.
Let's do it. I'm big business, baby. Do it.
We need to do a live stream with Eurovision and
yes.
like live reaction. I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too.
And
Michael, you don't know Michael Young.
Tadhg will do it too.
Eurovision ended in the late 90s, guys.
Oh, okay. Come here.
Ireland keeps getting
kicked out. Get on here. Oh, no.
Don't even even talk to me no more.
Rock and roll is all we did, but we're never gonna rock and roll these days.
I wasn't
again.
even alive when that happened.
I wasn't
Still walking home, right?
Oh my god.
I remember the rock and roll kids. Rock and roll, Friday. We're never gonna rock and roll these days again. Hi.
Nice to meet you too.
So, my dad lived in Bologna, and my half siblings, their mom lives in Thessaloniki. So there's a lot of like Europe in my family, and Eurovision is a big deal every year.
Okay.
That's what this is.
So in Ireland, growing up, the 2 days, like outside of say like Christmas Eve, that you were allowed to kind of stay up was the Late Toy Show, which is so we've a regular once a week late show. It's kind of modeled on American talk shows.
Mm-hmm.
And once a year they do a toy show where like it'd be like toys and stuff, so you get ideas of what you might want for Christmas. So that was one day as a child you were allowed to stay up. The other day as a child you were allowed to stay up late was Eurovision night.
Yes.
And yeah, like that was life in Ireland in the 90s.
Yeah, because Ireland in the 90s, the only like three-peat in Eurovision history, right?
Right. Yeah. Like and. Like, as in, it's silly, like, but it was.
No,
it
it's
was
serious
part of,
business.
Well, that's like, and like when you get into it, like the year Dana won and the year after Dana won, like it was serious, like it was IRA death threats and like it was nuts.
Before we get any farther, introduce yourself.
Hello,
we're getting right down to business.
My name is Tadhg Ó Meachair. I'm a PhD student in ethnomusicology and folklore at IU Bloomington, but I'm born and raised in Dublin in Ireland with family down in the southwest in Cork and Kerry.
Okay.
I'm a traditional musician.
Mm-hmm. What do you play?
Piano, accordion, and piano are my two instruments.
Okay.
Kind of like
more accordion. Chat was saying they need to make an accordion video game. We can't just only be playing the trombone. No? Oh, we'll see. We'll see if there's an accordion video game.
So,
do you know of one?
Accordion is a really interesting thing because so many people you meet have an accordion in their attic or their basement. Yeah. And it's just been sitting there.
That's right.
And it's something that I found really interesting in terms of music in the United States in general, especially coming from a culture that doesn't have this, but doesn't have this as ubiquitously as it does in the United States, like the marching band culture.
Yeah.
And so people go through high school and then sometimes college, and they've played music every day of their lives, and then they finished schooling and they never play a note again, ever.
You know how long it's been since I've touched the trombone? Yeah.
And it's...
You're gonna die. I just pulled this. You know what? So I'm looking at all these different forums.
Yes.
Related to accordion music in video games.
Yes.
You know what the first name dropped games is?
What?
Fire Emblem.
Oh, Fire Emblem Awakening has a lot of accordion. That's right.
And Xenoblade.
Oh, I love the Xenoblade soundtrack.
Sorry, I just
have you played either Fire Emblem or Xenoblade?
I have not.
The Fire Emblem's got a lot of. I think it's like a concertina, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. Sorry, marching bands.
But no, just only that. I think the social outlet of Irish traditional music, is something that, like, could benefit a lot. Like the social outlet is something that's lacking from a lot of other genres of music.
I understand.
From like, just because you're no longer marching in a band doesn't mean you should like drop your instrument forever and lose your expressive outlet
and stop hanging out.
Yeah, and stop hanging out.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
So what do you study?
So I'm at IU. Mm-hmm. I'm coming at it from between studying undergrad. I did an MA by research, but I'm largely coming from a performance background. I spent 10 years as a traditional Irish professional musician. Mm-hmm. I'm particularly interested in the sort of co-opting of Irish identity that happens around Irish music festivals and things like that, particularly in North America, around for white supremacist ends, in particular. That's what I'm kind of interested in digging into. But yeah.
Absolutely. Because I grew up in Ohio, And I've been to the Dublin Irish Festival. Have you been?
I was
You were
playing
just
at
there.
this summer.
Tell me about it.
It's so Dublin, Ohio Irish Music Festival is huge. Like,
Oh yeah.
second only to Milwaukee Irish Fest, and I think there's a bit of politics there as well. In that, like, one of them is a 4-day festival and one of them is a 3-day festival. So one of them like advertises as
Which is which?
I think Milwaukee's 4-day, so Milwaukee is technically the biggest 4-day Irish Music Festival, and Dublin is technically the biggest 3-day Irish Music Festival.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably. I believe that's what it is. I don't know how it's huge. Multiple stages, lots and lots of musicians from Ireland, lots and lots of local musicians, lots and lots of other North American Irish traditional musicians, and the Celtic rock stuff. All that, all makes it. But they've like great. They have like cultural tents. They have storytelling. They have rooms for. They have a wake tent.
Come here and give me a hug. Yes. Continue. Love you too, buddy.
And so like. Dublin. It's this huge festival in this wealthy suburb of Columbus that clearly has an Irish music, like an Irish connection historically, and it's this amazing festival, and it's great fun.
Did anyone tell you what's from Dublin, Ohio?
Wendy's headquarters are there.
Yeah.
Jenny's Ice Cream.
I think Jenny's ice cream is overrated.
Okay.
Because Handles, I feel like the disrespected younger brother of Ohio ice creams, Handles is so much better. I'm saying it now.
I mean, as an Irish person living abroad, if dairy products come about, I'm gonna have to defer to products back home.
Is that dairy products with an E?
Dairy.
I'm kidding. I'm being a dumbass.
DAIRY.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you present at AFS?
I did present.
What did you do?
I spoke about so similar topic, but not based in North America. Actually, based back in Ireland. There's a fringe right wing national party. Fringe right wing political party called the Irish National Party.
Okay.
And I managed to stumble across a song that they uploaded to their YouTube channel and subsequently made private. And so it's this like openly homophobic, sexist, racist song that is an expression or like a claim on what Irishness is. And I kind of do a close reading of the song in terms of like analyzing in terms of like the traditionalization that's going on, the sort of the leaning into generic expectations, but to sound a very like a fascistic right wing notion of what Irishness is. And so I kind of do this close reading that's like pointing out what's going on. And also like pointing out that the opposite can be done, and kind of like so it's a little bit of I think a useful frame of analysis, but also a call to action for like as a musician myself, and like just to kind of like point out that Irishness is something that is contested and negotiated all the time, and we need to stay on top of that if we don't want this like exclusionary, xenophobic, homophobic notion of Irishness to persist. So yeah.
What was your favorite like paper or programming that you saw at AFS this week?
I mean, like the biased answer is obviously the rest of the panel I was on. Like, I was with
diplomatic answer.
Exactly. So myself and Joseph Johnson and Adrian Pontecorvo were doing the panel. It was kind of like largely based on sort of placemaking and sound was kind of the idea.
Okay.
Adrian's this amazing scholar who works on radio and radioscapes, and in particular local radio.
I've seen her present. Garifuna people, right?
And she has done.
That's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so what she was presenting on here was more kind of coming from her like practice as a radio DJ, radio presenter, and she's a phenomenal scholar, and she's doing something that's like in radio. She's doing something that's not necessarily the norm in ethnomusicology and folklore. That is really cool, and it's like because you have the physical borders of how far the sound can travel.
Yeah.
But then you have this like internet component, which means that people who might have lived in Bloomington for a while, like, can also tune in and maybe recreate the place, even though temporarily might be a different kind of time, but the same space is still in question. So she's great. And then Joe Johnson is great. Like, Joe is my cohort, like, great friend of mine. He's doing phenomenal work on sort of like banjo reclamation from like African American music communities. So he presented on like an sort of African Roots festival, and the sort of, again, this sort of like placemaking that's happening in those situations, and it's just like really important work. So yes, my favorite paper that I saw at AFS were my two co-presenters, and I'm just gonna put it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I work for the state of Florida. Mick Maloney used to be on the Florida folk. Were you at the, what do you call it? The in memoriam panel? Okay, because they talked about Mick Maloney today. Yeah, did you like? Were you familiar with his workers' music?
I don't want to portray myself as knowing Mick intimately or
anything. I didn't either. I just know that had I worked there earlier, he would have been on my board. You know,
Mick was genuinely a huge part of me coming to grad school and doing grad school.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I had some great conversations with Mick. I went and visited him in New York. We chatted about kind of what I was interested in, like that sort of like appropriation of Irishness, and that, like, you know, using Irishness as a veil for white supremacy.
Yeah.
We talked about that a lot, and as things happened, like NYU, we're not accepting people the year I was applying to grad school. So in another world, who knows? You know. But a huge part of me actually pursuing graduate school in the United States, an amazing scholar, great ideas, also like someone who is working on a lot of really important work that I hope gets, like, I don't know enough to comment on it really, but I know that he was in the midst of very important work that needs to be followed up on and pursued.
Yeah.
Lovely guy, genuinely caring guy, great musician.
So that's how he ended up on the board of Florida Folklife. He headlined the Florida Folk Festival enough times that they gave him a board position. Yeah.
I mean, like, it's such a wealth of knowledge, but also and again, like, it's something that you kind of it may be underappreciated, but people who interrogate their own views over time and point out what they want to address in their own work.
Hard to do.
You know, and like, it takes a lot of humility to do that.
Yes.
And I think I appreciate that. No, he was a great guy, and like, friends of friends were very close with him.
Yeah.
Like, as an accordion player myself, I like, another idol of mine would be Jimmy Keane, who's a Chicago accordion player from Irish diaspora, and was with Mick just a week before he passed away, and like, speaking to Jimmy and knowing how important Mick was to so much of the Irish American scene broadly. Like, it's a huge diasporic scene, hugely important back to Ireland as well, you know. And like, a huge loss to the community, a huge loss to the academic community, the music community, and beyond.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's basically us. All of the moderators have left, so we can just keep talking forever, I guess. Unless Daisy wants to close the stream. Anything else you want to bring up while you have the platform, while you have the mic, while you got a platform?
Well, I mean,
what's your favorite video game?
I'm genuinely not that much of a video gamer. I if I'm honest about it, I had a Game Boy when I was younger.
Yeah.
I love the old Pokemon thing.
Okay.
Then, honestly, like, other than like Tony Hawk's and FIFA.
Oh, Tony Hawk. Love it.
Like, great.
We gotta play Tony Hawk. No, with George Pettis too. Yeah. We know an ethnomusicologist who does skateboard sound skits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a teenager, I was this like contradiction.
Is she in the shot? Okay, you're not in the shot. Oh. You tell me.
I was always
Days, get in here. Days, get in here.
I was always this contradiction in that I was an aspiring skater who never skated, and also had a Dublin GAA, like Gaelic Games sports jersey on me all the time, which didn't necessarily compute with the counterculture.
Didn't really scan, yeah.
So that was me as a teenager, so, and like early 20s kind of person. So yeah, but no, like FIFA and Tony Hawk's were my thing, Pokemon and the Game Boy, and then genuinely for my 30th birthday, my family gave me a PlayStation. That was the first time I ever owned a PlayStation.
Okay.
So yeah, I was yeah.
Are we getting shut down?
We're out of time.
Yes. You know who needs to be the last guest?
No, well, have you asked him about wait?
Also, Ireland are the best Eurovision entrants ever. Just to recap,
Oh my
like
God.
that was the summation of that. Sorry.
Ireland hasn't been good in Eurovision for like at least 20 years.
Leading winners, I'm pretty sure.
No one. Damiano, and I cannot stress this enough, David.
And I cannot stress this.
Damiano, and I cannot stress this enough, David. Everyone else's argument is invalid.
I'm coming on for 1 second.
Is Joel gonna make an appearance?
Best Eurovision winner was Ruslan.
It's the end of the night.
Ukraine, 2004. First time Ukraine ever entered Eurovision. Wild dance. Hey, thank you, fancy. You know, she wore like fur and like there was fire.
I don't remember this.
It became like the national anthem.
Well, I bet the Ukrainian group I remember is
No, you never seem to.
Yes. You could tell.
I saw it.
Daisy's kicking us out. Daisy's kicking us out.
Well, okay. Hi, everybody.
Bring in
Sorry,
Joel.
so I am looking for,
Ladders
I
for
don't-
Ladders for Tadhg.
Ladders for Tadhg, everybody, please. Yes. Hi, final guys.
I think so.
Except Ireland is terrible in Eurovision.
Literally,
Okay.
they're the Los Angeles Lakers of Eurovision. They've literally the most consistent wins.
Nobody cares because this all happened before the 2000s.
Okay, we must be free. Okay, hi everybody, it's me, Daisy. I've been running around. I'm back. I'm here to tell Dom and also everyone else who's in the room that it is time to close the stream. It is past 2 a.m.
You're gonna have so much fun editing this, aren't you?
That's what they've been telling me. We're closing down the stream, but I would like because my voice is obviously gone, I'd like for Dom to yell to everybody to come, just like wave to the stream when they close it.
Everyone still in the room, come to the webcam and wave to the stream goodnight. Wave goodnight to the stream. Joel, leave your goddamn shirt on, Joel R.G. Chapman.
What is happening?
Night, everyone.
Thanks so much
Absolutely,
for the chat.
absolutely. Email Daisy, folkwise13@gmail.com. Let's get you actually on the show sometime.
All right, Tony.
Same. You're senior Eurovision correspondent. Let's go. We will do a Eurovision
I
live
have
stream.
watched Eurovision every year
My-
since 1995.
My brother Dean got married Eurovision weekend, and like the siblings table had like 2 phones, the BBC stream, and like the Greek stream, and we were both watching it just like either side.
On many levels. Making quotes helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of really working my way out of the labyrinth.